All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out here. 1 second. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I hope everybody had a blessed weekend and happy Sunday, everybody. It is November 10th, 2019, and tomorrow is Monday. And so, looking forward to that, right? So big week ahead, guys. We've got Veterans Day tomorrow. So thank you to all fellow veterans who have served. Thank you for your service, and thank you for those who paid the ultimate price for the protection of our country. Um, Looking forward to a great trading week this week, guys. Pumped. Let's take a look. Woo! Let's take a look here. So we've got. Before we get started here, let me make sure that we get the disclaimer out there. So everything we're going to talk about tonight, of course, is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. Please take a moment to review this disclaimer. All right. So once again, tonight, guys, we're going to talk about this whole week. We're going to be talking about penny pinchers. Okay, these are tools that were developed by a floor trader. Okay, Kevin Ho. Okay, this is through the Market Wizards book, right? Interviews of Top Traders by Jack Schwager. It was published in 1994. But guys, these methods are still awesome today. Okay, so before we get started, there we're going to take a look at the market. But yeah, so today's discussion is going to be on the 10 OJ or the 10 o'clock jiggle. Okay, the 10 OJ, the 10 o'clock jiggle. So we're going to talk about that today. So before we get started here, let's run through the market. Okay, let's take a look and see where we're at. Futures are down right now. They're down eight points. Pretty impressive stuff. Oop. Yeah, let me get the right screen up. Sorry, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That was from, let's get these levels up here. Good, good, good. Thought I had these pulled up already. All right, so this is where we're at in the market. Pushed to all-time highs last week, so November's looking pretty good. It's coming off of October, which was a hammer, right? So we're seeing that movement off of that hammer this month. Weekly chart, okay, getting there, getting impressive. So we've closed above the upper Bollinger Band, okay, on the weekly chart. So right now, the RSI is not overbought yet on the weekly chart. So when that does, if that were to happen, right, that is pretty bearish. It's actually pretty bearish the fact that it's interesting. It raises concern once we close above the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly chart. Because what happened last time we did that? Right here. See ya. Whoosh. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if that happens. Tomorrow should be interesting because it is Veterans Day. The Fed is closed tomorrow. So, I mean, guys, to say that they're not involved and central banks aren't involved in the U.S. stock market is it's just wrong. I mean, they've all admitted to being part of it, right? So when they're not out there buying, right, watch out, right? So we'll see if the bears step up tomorrow and try to push this thing down. Futures are down right now, so we'll see. We'll see what we see tomorrow. So last time we had Fed off, right? It was Columbus Day. Things were pretty choppy, but we'll see if this is almost an ideal time for them to push it down if they can. So because of these not necessarily overbought conditions, we weren't overbought. Sometimes when you combine those two, right, it can be interesting, right? So here we had RSI that was way overbought, and we closed above the upper Bollinger Band. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's the first week, right? We pretty much closed here, right? Pushed up, closed here, closed here. I mean, so that really was 227.83 all the way up to 28.75. So it's almost 100 points up, right? So I'm not, it's not saying it's magically going to go down, but just keep an eye on it. Watch the price action. Be tactical. This is a very interesting area that we're in. Okay, so and again, you can watch the slope of the Bollinger Band too. Okay, you can watch the slope of it as well. So right now it's just starting. So we could run, right? We could run. We'll take a look at that in a second here. Daily chart though is RSI is starting to get overbought here. Okay, last time it got overbought was here, kind of came down a little bit, overbought here, came down a little bit, right? Overbought here, came down a bit, right? So just kind of keep that in mind too. Keep that in mind too. Very, very interesting week ahead. So we are holding this trend line, so that is interesting as well. Okay, and this though, right? So if that slope of that Bollinger Band on the weekly stays up, right, maybe it'll continue to follow that up, right? And we get here to this macro wave B, which we're looking at in an Elliott wave analysis here. So this is we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 truncated triangle, right? 5. Okay, well, corrective structure, right? Was this really a good count for a full corrective wave? Maybe 5, 3.5, you know, maybe, could be. And then we're just working our way up on a huge impulsive move up. That is possible, right? Or this was just the first leg of a corrective pattern. So there's a couple different counts that are out there. There could be the super bullish one, right? And then there could be this one, which is sort of temporarily bullish, right? Which would be more likely in the sense of the market to try to, to trap longs in up here and then flush it back down. So we'll see. Very, very complicated stuff. I mean, very, very complicated market. I mean, this is where we've been through 2018. I mean, just this mess compared to 2016, all the way up to 2018. I mean, it was like, just bull market type stuff. And now we're in this kind of mess. So very interesting times that we're trading in, right? It's kind of fun to be a part of it. Okay, cool. Let's keep moving on here. Here's a look at the price action from Friday. Okay, I've got this pulled up right here. Very, very interesting price action, right? So we had, a couple interesting things. And in fact, this is pretty interesting. It kind of ties into what we're going to talk about today. All right, but here we came up, right? So about 950-ish, right? 955, we hit the lows right here and then up. Okay, so very, very interesting stuff. Okay, then we worked our way up to the this short-term volumetric high. All these levels we provide to our subscribers and all that stuff. So anyway, good stuff. So today, once again, glad everybody's tuning in. Really excited about this discussion. So we're going to talk about these different penny picture techniques this week. The first, of course, we just mentioned is the 10 OJ pattern, or the 10 o'clock the 10 o'clock jiggle. The 10 o'clock jiggle. And really simply, okay, so at 10 o'clock, right? At 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. New York time, right? It gives a good opportunity for the market to reverse its current intraday trend from the open. Okay, and this is actually a great example to show right here on SPX. So, all right, so this is the technical, guys. This is simple. It's great, and it also helps if we're at or near a key level. So basically, what we're saying is at the open by 10 o'clock. Okay, within the first 30 minutes, if at basically the 30 orb low or high, if we're there, right, at 10 o'clock, there's a good chance that we could reverse off of it. How powerful is that? It's incredible, right? You go back through and test this. It's amazing, right? So here, SPX, right, we work up 5. This is the 5-minute chart, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. We're up here, okay, whatever. We're at the lows here. At the 30, we're still at the lows, right? Still at the lows, right? Good opportunity for reversal. And the idea is, we look to, if we're at those lows, we look to, trade in the direction of the reversal, right? So we look to go long, basically with a stop at the low of the day, right? And if you use options, right, just figure on SPX, right, especially on expiration day, for the most part, we like to use like a 2-point stop on it. Just keeps you safe, right, on the options, right? So here, what I would do is I'd look at here at the 10 o'clock time frame. We're about like 3075-ish. I'd probably go with the 3075s with a 2-point stop. So let's take a look at where that was on the 10 o'clock chart. Okay, so that's .SPXW 19 1108 calls, and we'd be looking at the 3075s. Okay, at 10 o'clock, and just see what they did at that time. Okay, so you say you catch this at the bottom, or you catch it, as it's reversing, right, off of that time frame. Okay. And we have tools in our group too that help us look at that. Right, this weekend we wrote in the newsletter about the crazy Ivan. Right, so there's some tools that can help us catch these if we know what time frames they happen. Right, and so here we go. So anyway, roughly about here, about 377. You have a 2-point stop on it, so your stop's at 177. Right, even if you caught it on the way up here, just keep yourself safe. Basically, below the low of the day. But anyway, if you can catch it there, right, you're good. Anyway, this ended up going from $3.77 all the way up to $10. Right. And it pulled back again, and they gave another one up to $12. Pretty incredible stuff from $3, right? So you start to see this, start to take notice of this in your trading. Start to look at this each day, like around 10 o'clock. Where are we? Okay, so one of the ones that we looked at this Friday on our live stream in our group was Facebook. Okay, this is one of the ones I mentioned. I was like, hey guys, this looks like it's a good lotto short potential. Okay, so here on Facebook, you can see exactly what happened. Right, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes into the game, right at just about 10 o'clock. Now, granted, 30 minutes was up here, but there was a couple tools that we used that showed us. This is a crazy Ivan right here, that basically showed us that, hey, this looks like it's topping out right here. Okay, and so again, really, really close to that 10 the 10 o'clock jiggle. Okay, so keep that in mind. The 10 o'clock jiggle, that's the 10 OJ move. Okay, so really, really cool. If you go back and look at this, right, another one. So that was just pretty cool. It was with some other tools that we use. But look at this right here, guys. So this is the one I tweeted out here earlier to be like, hey, this we're gonna go over moves like this, right? And so 10 o'clock, where are we? Right here. 10 o'clock, where are we? Right here. Are we at the lows? This is what I like. I prefer, this was a different tool that we use here to get here. SPX was pretty close. It was a fast move, right? But I like this when it just kind of sits around here for a second, right? Especially that it had these upper shadows right here. Because what's that doing? It's making folks think, right, that we're getting ready to go short. A double shooting star, right, with increasing volume. Here's what keeps us out of it, right, is one, we had a cloud level right here, but two, the risk reward isn't there, right? Because our next level is right here. If we were below this level, yeah, we'd look to bring it down here, just like this, right? So once we got below this level here later in the day, boom, see ya, right? Okay, so anyway, so here we are. It's 30 minutes into the game, 30 minutes into the day, and we are hanging out at these lows. Strong probability for a reversal. And look what happened. See ya. So everybody who's in here is like, oh yeah, volume's increasing too. Yeah, let's go short. This is great. This thing's gonna drop. Well, where is it gonna drop to here? Is it really worth it to take that trade? I don't think so. Right, 1-to-1 risk reward at the best, right? And then there's this lower shadow, and then this candle right here. Everybody who's in here, oh no, it's fine, right? It's fine. We're fine. It's not gonna get through here. We've got our stops right here. We're good, right? This it's just gonna chop here, right through it. Right through it. Stops get right, and it's not just options, right? There's folks in there. There's real money, and there's like in the shares, right? So they've got stops here, 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 and here, right? The high of the day, right? So the Facebook just plowed through all those. Just a technical move, right? Just short squeezing right through it, and that is a great tool to use. So definitely, highly suggest going back through and looking at this, right? Going back through and looking at this. I mean, because it does happen right here. You still have to have your stops on and all that stuff. And don't be afraid to raise stops, right? Because right here around 10 o'clock, we're kind of hanging out around the lows of the day, but we're not really that low. We're above it, right? So you got to go back and look at it. Like, make sure we're really close to the lows. And it's really ideal if we're at a level, right? If we're at a key level. So that's nice too. So here we're at the pre-market levels, right? That's a key level on this day, right? And so here we go. We go up to 10 o'clock, hanging out around those highs, right? Couple upper shadows, cloud breakdown right there. Okay, so you're starting to see this all the time. I definitely suggest looking for it. Okay, so here we are, Facebook, right around 10 o'clock. Okay, at the high, right? So anyway, the 10 o'clock jiggle, love it. So we're gonna go over really cool setups like this. These are just tactical moves, but it helps us, take our minds, right, and just look at the market from a perspective instead of even getting all wrapped up in the minutia, right? These are key times of the day. 10 o'clock reversal. Okay, look for those, but look for it around a key level. Look for it, when it makes sense, right? When it, look for it at a key level. Look for it, upper shadows like here, right? That we're rejecting a level. We have some tools that we use in our group too that help us. So anyway, really important stuff, guys. So, and this stuff still applies today. That was written back in 1994, right? That was a long time ago for some of us. Sometimes it seems like yesterday, but anyway, good stuff. All right, well, I hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, feel free to plug those in the chat window now, and we'll try to get through as many as we can by 10:30, and get a good night's sleep so we can all have an awesome trading day tomorrow. Okay, good stuff. Okay, so actually, I got these here from earlier, so let's take a look. I've got some chart requests here already through direct message or email, and so let's take a look. So we've got on the radar, we've got, just make sure this all showing up, CGC. CGC is looking good in the neighborhood here. So we've got earnings coming up, okay, and we talked about this last time, right? Right? We got to the upper channel right here. Okay, right down here, got the upper channel again, came back down. Oh, it didn't want to flush this time. So we're finding a little bit of support here, a little support in this zone. Okay, so we're finding some support in this area, right? And now we have pushed through the channel. So we basically pushed through the trend line, right? So if I activate the channel here and just give it wrong channel, activate this channel. There, that's your trend line right there, right? Wait, no, actually it's this. It's this, because that was your low. Goes through here. So we do want to close above this 2250-ish level. The high here was 2248. So if we can close bullishly above that, right, it might be good. Just watch out for this cloud. We've also got to get above the cloud. The only thing I can see that could get us through it is this guy right here, earnings this week, 1114. So we'll keep an eye up. This is bullish, right? So we could look for a day trade tomorrow through today's high. There's a lot of volume that came in here. We might see a push, so we might get like a little mini earnings run on this thing. Okay? So that looks pretty good. ACB, another one of these guys. Not as strong as CGC. Not as strong. But interesting. So let's take a look, see what this is doing, right? I don't have the channel drawn on this one. You can kind of see it right down here. Okay, we're below the channel actually. Right? actually, right? So that's kind of the channel right there. But here's your trend line, macro. Okay, here's your intermediate trend line right here. There's your low, there's your high. Really, really choppy. We need to close bullishly above these guys. So basically a close over $4, right? With increasing volume. And then we got that cloud resistance. So just be careful with this one. CDC definitely looks more interesting for tomorrow. Okay? And the awesome, the ultimate, the cool, the fun. Who would have thought such a boring company could have such a fun stock to trade? UNH, Dow stock. Right, so this is one that we've been stocking. This is one that we've been trading in the group. I know, several folks have been doing great with it. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And anyway, nice bull flag right here. Nice breakout bar right here. Nice doji sandwich potential here for Monday. Right, so I've already got an alert right here. If we can push above the close of Friday, right, we might see another measured move up, possibly the size of this candle. Okay, so the idea is, we've done the doji sandwich discussion several times. If that goes up, right, you have a stop at the end of the day and just kind of move your stuff up and follow it up. Good stuff. Good. Let's see, Shirley. Let's take a look. Microsoft. And let's see. All right, so Microsoft is interesting right here. It is basically out of the chop zone, but it looks like it's forming a fresh chop zone, right? So it's kind of in here. The only thing I can see is, it put all-time highs in and it closed bullishly back in the channel, right? So we'll see if that, decides to really work its way up. Guys, Microsoft is almost out of play for being a momentum mover. And now that I say that, I'll probably have like a huge day. But this is one I just kind of like, I can kind of slowly add them into like an IRA potentially or something, some kind of sleepy yawny like that, right? So I mean, because it does this like forever, and then it's like, then it goes up. Okay, it's up here, right? I mean, it's been doing this for a while now. Has it been like really, really steady up? Yeah, but look at that. It's how it chops around here for a long time. Then it goes up a little bit. Then it chops around here for a long time, right? And then it kind of goes down a little bit and chops around. Then it kind of comes up. I mean, just very, very yawny type stock. But this has been, crazy channel. No huge breakouts right here. We'll see. I just can't see this thing like rip into like 170 and, and all that stuff. So anyway, consistent. It's a consistent mover. Good. CNC. Boom. That was a nice day. Shirley. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's take a look. Centene. Sounds like a toothpaste. Okay, so here's this nice. This was actually the nice day right here to go, because look at that. So here's your minor pivot, bullish close over it, increasing volume over the cloud, and look at that. Whoever actually went long that day got a reward because it gapped up super big the next day. Nice day to take profit, right? And this follows our strategies, right? So we have this downward trend line right here, minor pivot right here, bullish close above it, over the cloud too with increasing volume, and boom, rewarded the next day significantly, right? Slight pullback right here. This is why I'm liking this, Shirley. Right? Minor pivot right here. Closed bullishly above it Friday. Okay, so it still has more upside potential, possibly up to the fib fan line here to 57. That is a nice chart, and good examples too of our methods working nicely. QD. Yeah, oh, cool. We've looked at this one before. Activate. That goes there. That goes, golly, does that go there? Yep, minor pivot here. Bullish close on Friday. A little bit of an upper shadow, kind of a concern. I would keep an eye on possibly an inside day or something bullish up here to possibly trigger that cloud break, but watch out, you got earnings coming soon. So it could be a little bit of an earnings run, but just be careful holding through earnings. Boot. What's this all about? Justin. Anyway, so here's your levels right here. This has been pretty tricky. It is a nice close here. I like the increasing volume, but this looks like a kind of a tricky chart. Surely, I wouldn't even mess with this thing, but it is bullish. CE, Boot Barn. This right here, bullish close. That might have been the day to go long. Here's your upper level right here, 125.81. We closed at 126.05 with increasing volume. That was a day on Thursday to go long, and you would have gotten rewarded on that. At this point, it's a little bit chasing because you're so high up, so just be careful with that. Watch for some consolidation, and then maybe another move. Jay Kozak, what's up? Woo! Good evening. MTN, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Hope you had a great weekend. Sarah, good evening. Hope you had a great weekend. Akshay, good evening. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Nudie Poo, hello. Facebook and CGC, you got it. Facebook. Well, you can see what it's doing. Not much. It's been so super duper choppy. Right, so here's kind of this uptrend line right here. I mean, this needed to close bullishly this day after earnings over these levels. If it did, then yeah, it could have worked its way up to these highs. But now it's kind of working its way down. Now, let's see. We had an inside day on Friday. Is it going to like trap people short here? Okay, because we have a little bit of support right here. If it can get above that and start to work its way up again, maybe Facebook will become bullish soon. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. And then CGC, we'll take a look at that again because it's so fun to look at. I just love this channel, how it respected it. Got to the channel here, down, channel here, down, right? Channel here, down a little bit, held support. Now it's back. Now it's trying to get out of the channel. Very, very interesting day on Friday. Big, big volume. Okay, so we'll see if that gets continuation. A push above to Friday's highs could get some continuation. A little bit of earnings run. It's very, very possible. Very possible. So good. Wendy, hello, hello. Nick, what's going on? Happy Veterans Day. You too, man. Appreciate you. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope the weather's good for you. MTN, what's happening? Roku on the weekly, along with the RSI, doesn't look too good. Do you think it can go to sub 100 again? I think anything's possible. I think it can do anything. Price can do whatever it wants to, right? So it is interesting. There is a little bit of strength coming into it. There's some buying pressure on Friday. Okay, so it is worth considering that. But in general, we're here, right? I mean, we're down. It's got to work its way back in the cloud. Okay, so if this count is correct, right? I kind of like it. 1, A, B, C, 2, right? Work our way up to 3, quick 4, right? Using the rule of the guideline of alternation, we have a choppy wave 2, we have a sharp wave 4, wave 5. Okay, so that does look like a wave 5 finish. So then we look, okay, what's going on here? A flat? Well, no, it would be a zigzag, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's an impulsive move down. So that would be 5. This would be your 3, A, B, C, 3. So if that is the case, right, and this continues to work its way down, and the market is weak, Roku could flush. So you are just based on the Elliott wave analysis, MTN. Yeah, I mean, you got your weekly, right? You got your RSI, bearish week right here, right? But here, right, you have your inside day. If that breaks down, you've got lots of gaps to fill. You could potentially test support, which is right around that 100 area. And if this were a wave 1, maybe it'll pull back wave 2 or something like that. If it comes back to these levels and fills this gap first, then you could see a big flush. But I mean, this can still move. It could be 1, right, 2, test the top of the cloud and down. So it looks like it's gearing up for another push down. And this thing is really sensitive to downgrades, right? It got all sorts of upgrades all the way up here, and then it started getting some downgrades. It was like all the way down there. So it's something to keep in mind. Fascinating chart. It really is. Let's keep this here. So I'm going to actually add that to the short list for tomorrow. Good. Good. And 1 second. Yeah. Let's do that. Sorry guys, 1 second. Just updating my game plan ideas. Okay. Good. All right. So that was Roku. Awesome. Experience and thoughts. What's going on? Happy Sunday. Hope you had a great weekend. Manesh, what's going on? Can we look at Coop? You think we're starting a wave 3 of a bigger wave 5? Well, let's take a look. So Coop on the daily. All right, guys. So this is interesting, right? So Coop is one we've been kind of tracking as a basically a megaphone, right, or an expanding triangle, right? So A, B, C, D, E, right? So at that point, right, we would assume this is wave 4, right? So that'll be your wave 4 bottom, right? Because we talked about triangles, right? Triangles only occur in wave B, right, or wave 4. So let's just say that's 1, choppy wave 2, 3, 4. And so yeah, so I see what you're saying here. So you're looking at so you're at 4, so you're at 1, possibly 2, and then 3 up here, and maybe a 4, and then 5/5. Oop, I meant to do it like this. So, to answer your question, you bet you nailed it. So yeah, we could be starting on it. Let's just look for confirmation, right? So one of the things we would want to see, right, is like some sort of something. Now, if this were wave 4, this could be 4, right? 1. I would still maybe want to see like a little sub like A, maybe a B, like a C for the wave 2 here. Right, and then look for some sort of confirmation that we're working up, like I don't know, like an engulfing candle or something to show that we're starting to work there. Now it does have earnings coming up, not too far. I know it's December, but it's important to watch the price action on the daily. We can always go to the short-term time frame and see, but it does look interesting. I do think you're on the right track. Great stuff. MTM, Zoom, Zumba. Oh wow, yeah. Very interesting stuff, guys. So Zoom looked like basically it came down. So we've been tracking this thing. I mean, it's been wanting to go long for a while, right? We're like, downward trend, like good earnings, right? Just kind of like flushing on good earnings. Like, oh my goodness, how much longer are they going to push this, right? RSI got massively oversold on this, and then it started to bounce, right? Started to come up, right? Nice inside day, nice Jack in the Box trade right there, nice push up, another Jack in the Box potential, and couldn't do it, right? Broke down below this, basically a bump and run line right here. Here's your trend line, right? Your support trend line comes down, little lower shadow off of that, and then boom on Friday. So, yes. It's like an expanded like morning star, but yeah, and I wonder if it looks like that in like the 2-day chart or something like that. But well, probably not. Probably need to be like a 1.5-day chart. But anyway, the bullish candle right there. So I'm going to look and see. We're going to look and track this thing and see if it can get some movement, right? So maybe it'll slowly drift its way up to the cloud. That's kind of our goal, or it might just slowly climb up this trend line, which would be really boring and annoying. But yeah, a day like this shows that hey, if it can close bullishly over here. Right, and I'm actually going to remove this. If we can close bullishly over this, right? So that high there is 70.85. Then I'll definitely start to take some interest on it. But it is starting to look pretty bullish here. Like it wants to try again. Love it. In fact, let me add that to the game plan. Okay, good. Good. And what's going on? Good evening. NOC. Northrop Grumman. Love it, except right into resistance. Just be careful with that. You got some cloud right here. Right now, it could sneak out of here and then work its way up through that part of the cloud right there. But big resistance on this trend line. Okay? So it's got to get above it. If not, could come down and test these lows, possibly even down to the pitchfork level. So watch that on Northrop. Cron. Earn it just like the other pot stocks, like it's trying to get there but not quite there. So this is the key level to get above, and that if it did get that, it would be right at resistance right here. This is CGC is definitely the most interesting one to look at, but this could set some tone. GS. Yeah, some interesting talk and banter this weekend with Apple. So we'll see how that holds. Inside bar right here, upper trend line. I like this pullback. The pullbacks to this trend line have been strong. Okay, so futures are a little bit down right now. So if it does come back here, just look at that trend line. It's a potential support. And X. United States Steel. Oop, trend line. Needed. Here. Low. There. So this is technically, wait. Good. Yes, this is. I actually saw this the other day. I love this volume here after earnings. I didn't like the upper shadow, so it's kind of hanging out within the upper shadow, which is good. That means that it's trying to get bullish, right? So this is good. We might see a pop here. It goes ex dividend on the 12th, so on Tuesday. After that, look for a bullish close over this kind of little pennant. No, well, not a pennant, like horizontal flag, basically this little channel here. Bullish close over that area. Increase volume, and then boom, could start to work to fill those gaps. I love how it's over the cloud. It is starting to get there. I like it. I like it a lot. Good stuff. Actually, what's going on? So how do you set buy and sell stops for options based on stock prices? Okay, so it all depends on what you're trading, right? So right, if you buy something that's that's kind of has some volume, and you can even plot the options chart, that's ideal, right? Because there's liquidity, you can get in and out and pay, place it based on the stock chart itself. But if you're using it based on the stock prices, it's harder, right? So what you want to do is be as high delta as possible. Okay, so in other words, the higher delta you are, if you have a delta of 1, right, in your and let me see if I can pull this. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to pull up the options chart here and just show you. Okay, so here's the options chart, just say, for instance, for X. Okay, so if I trade out of the money, right? So X is 13.57. If I trade out of the money, say I want to buy these 18-cent stocks, right? And I really want to be precise, right? It's really hard to do at 18 cents anyway. But these do not move like the stock. You want to be higher delta. The higher delta you are, if you're at 1, it's going to move very, very close to the stock itself. It's a little more expensive, and in some stocks it's a lot more expensive, but it's going to move more fluidly. And here you could see, just like with X, so if I go here, right, if I take this and I go here, and I plug it here, you're going to see the options, if there's enough volume, is going to look a lot more like the stock itself. Okay, so then you could use the option high and lows of that day if at a delta of 1 and be a little bit more precise, right? So if, let's say here we could keep a stop here at 1 to just to say just for $1.30, right? And it's $2, so you risk 70 cents there on X. And I'm basically saying, hey, below this level right here. Okay, so if it moves up, $1, then I'll make $1, right? If it moves up 20 cents, I'll make 20 cents. So it's all about measuring that and determine the risk reward, right? So the other thing we look at too is if we're trading weeklies and we're trading weeklies and we're out of the money, right? At that point, if it's cheap, like 18 cents, 2 cents, something like that, we have no choice but to treat it like a lotto. It's gonna go crazy. It could go to 0. Right, so we need to also manage our risk according to that too. So if it's 10 cents and we buy 10 of those, right, we're risking $100, and it's like, all right, well, if it goes to 0, we lose $100, right? But if it doubles, then hey, we made $100, right? If it triples, we made $200, right? So sometimes you just have to just weigh that risk that way. So the further out of the money you go, especially on the weeklies, it's hard to manage. And so with the ones we trade on our go-to list, like UNH, right, you just have to evaluate the movement of the stock, right? So having a stop at like $1, right, at one point, sometimes is good, right, on certain ones. Like Facebook and Apple, 50 cents is usually, my default stop on it. Roku, maybe like $1, $1.50, right? Nvidia, $1.50. Netflix, $1.50, right? Boeing, $1.50. Shop, Amazon's SPX, 2 points, right? And let the trades work. Tesla, $1.50, maybe 2 points. $1.75, something like that, right? And so this way you just kind of know when you're a little bit out of the money on those, like what kind of wiggle room you have. If you try to get too precise, it can bounce and move and hit you, especially on those out of the monies, and that's not cool, especially if it runs after you're out. So it just takes experience with that and just kind of experimenting a little bit. So definitely something to look at there. Hopefully that answers the question a little bit. Experience and thoughts. Shop. Baba. and more. Let's take a look. So shop had a pretty interesting day, guys. It really did. Bullish engulfing candle, right? Fully engulfed the prior day on the real body, right? So that, what did it do? It came down right to support right here, right? And held it, right? Tried to break down a little bit. Got some folks suckered in right there on that low of the day break, and then reverse. And I remember looking at this on Friday. This thing just kept on running, right? And so this thing, right, 16-point day from the lows. Let's take a look at that actually real quick and see what it did, what time it did it. Oh, okay, yeah, it did it right away. That's right. So it didn't give us the you know the uh, the 10 o'clock jiggle. Everybody likes the jiggle. Anyway, so let's see here. Just want to see if it's ever done it. Kinda. It kind of did it here. Hung out around the highs around 10 o'clock, and then eventually it worked its way down. It was a little choppy, and then worked its way down. Just trying to see if it did it any other time. Kinda. You just got to be careful with that, though. It can be tricky. That's why I always have your stops. Shop's a tough one. Shop's a tricky one. But those Facebooks, maybe SPY a little bit. Netflix is interesting. They behave well. We also have our other tools to help us determine whether it makes sense or not. Right? Okay, cool. We have key levels too, right? Remember, if we're here, just for instance, 10 o'clock, do we really want to go short when we're holding the 15 orb? No, it's holding the 15 orb, right? We don't necessarily want to short that. Okay, so that was the action on Friday. So that being said, what's this thing doing? Okay, so to me, I originally thought this, but now I think this. That was my original wave count. I thought we were going to get a wave C up here. But I was like, wait a second, maybe this is all going to be contained. This corrective pattern is all going to be contained within this channel. And if it is, there's more downside to go. Okay, it's just not ready yet. And in fact, I'm not surprised to see the pullback right here because we have this wave 1, right? Maybe A, B, C, wave 2, right? Maybe. But we could be seeing a sub wave of 3, right? So this could be like a mini wave 1 here. At which point we could see a massive move down. 1. Oops. Activate. Let's say here and then there. Okay, so then we might see something like this, and it might actually break out of the channel there too. Sub wave 2 here, right? Pull back to the channel here. So we have to watch this channel. That's going to be key, and we don't want to do anything until it starts to pivot off of it like it did here, right? Because if it does break out, then we have this cloud resistance, and then if that's the case, then we might see this playing out instead, right? So A, ABC, A3, ABC, B. Okay, so there's two things. It all depends. Everything is depending right now on how it handles this channel. If it reverses off this channel, we could see a sharp move down. If it doesn't, and it gets maybe to the cloud, I would think to the top of the cloud right here, because usually a wave C of a zigzag, right, is going to go up to 55% retracement, which is right at the cloud top, so it might kind of trick people into getting out of the cloud, right, and then really flushes really hard. About the same size or more the size of wave A here, okay? So just something to keep in mind. And that's shop. Baba. Brutally working its way up. Okay, so holding that trend line right there. So see, watch for a pullback, see how it holds it, but it could be interesting. It's just so annoying. It's like every day goes up, turns red, up and turns red. So it makes it a little bit tough. Tesla. Inside day. Huge bullish days, guys. I mean, this thing is good. I mean, it's strong, right? I mean, it has broken out of this, downtrend, a macro downtrend, super macro downtrend on good earnings, on its profitable earnings. So, I mean, this thing is hot, right? Hot stock right now, right? Big gap up doji, and boom, through the gap up high, right? It's a technique that we use, right? We've talked about here plenty of times. Looked at it was forming doji sandwich. It ended up the upper shadow here, kind of showed its hand, and then worked its way down, then chopped and held the 50% of the range, and then worked its way back up, even after this hammer. Nice days. Now, inside day right here, might try to, as long as it stays in the upper end of the shadow, right? It could be interesting. So definitely worth keeping an eye on there for some more bullish behavior. And then cost. Well, based on the picture you sent me earlier, I have nothing nothing but bullish things to say. And we've wanted to stay bullish on this thing for sure, right? It just is, it has to give us, certain volume indications. And this one we had decreasing volume, even though I like this candle, right? It was less volume than this day, right? So it was like, okay, is it really breaking out or is it kind of fizzling out, right? And then it did gap up. And fortunately, I didn't trade this actually because I didn't realize it was putting store hours. It was a binary event into this gap up here. So it fulfilled its 3-day unfilled gap reversal. It pushed down to there, so that gap is filled. Okay, and then it came back up. So it's in the lower end of the range. So now let's just see how it holds this, right? This is just kind of the key thing right now is just how it holds that area. Okay, but it is nice, working its way up, right? 3 rising valleys, right? You can kind of see that here. Cup, 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 which is very, very bullish. Okay? 3 C's, my friend Scott would say. Matthew, good evening. How's it going? Superstar, what's going on? Google. Whew. Google. Google's a tough one. I've stopped trading this thing altogether, and you can see where I pretty much stopped looking at it back in, I think earlier than that. I think I only have these trend lines on here for chart requests. Here, so it is holding trend. Inside day, it has just been so difficult to trade with options and spreads and all that stuff. I just have just kind of taken it off the list. But yeah, it's bullish until proven otherwise. Now for tomorrow, inside day, you can look and see if it breaks the inside day high and pushes over and gets up, tries to at least retest those recent highs. Good stuff. Dylan, what's going on? NSIT. Oof. Crazy candle this day, or a little crazy earnings candle. High to here. Okay, held trend. So may chop around to the trend line. Look for that. See if it holds that trend. And then works its way back up. Cool. Wendy, what's going on? J&J, hopefully down, right? So unfortunately, J&J is actually looking really bullish here. Okay. It breaks my heart. So there's a couple ways you can look at it. You can look at it here. This trend is your minor pivot. It wouldn't want to close higher above this. So 133.53, if it closes bullishly above that, it can start to get real bullish really fast. Start filling some gaps. Now the short-term trend line, it closed bullishly on Friday above this level, but the volume was decreasing, right? So very, very bullish candle, but not good volume. So, and you got a thin cloud right here too, so it could flush below that. So for me personally, hopefully it flushes through it. But but for us, just in general for educational purposes, if it closes bullishly above here, it could work its way back up. FTNT, Fortinet, bullish, super duper bullish. Goodness gracious. I mean, as long as it holds that trend, right? Bullish will prove it otherwise. I mean, very, very bullish stuff, right? Sweet volume here. Starting to get bullish again, honestly. So see if it holds this trend. Bullish will prove it otherwise. JPM. This is another one. Tough. All-time highs. But it is holding trend. It's even holding the bump line right here. So watch see how it handles these levels. Overbought on the RSI on the daily. Overbought. Almost overbought on the RSI on the weekly and way over the upper Bollinger Band. So we look at that last one, right? 4 weeks over it, right? Was very bearish, right? We saw a little bit more, right? So we'll see how that works its way up here. But this upper Bollinger Band, close above it, down. Over the Bollinger Band, down. Over the Bollinger Band, sideways, down, right? So just be careful with that. Over the Bollinger Band, sideways, down, right? Over the Bollinger Band, sideways, down. Okay? So keep an eye on it. A little risky up here. I'd be reluctant to go long. Right? If anything, it probably would have been okay to go long. Where were we? Before or after earnings? Right? After earnings, possibly this day right here, a couple days ago. But here it's just so tough. So tough. Jonah, what's going on? JAK, what's happening? Options on Microsoft are cheap though. No, you're correct. You are correct. It is tradable. I'm just saying, it's boring though. But they can move if you get a good setup, especially with Excalibur. And you got 0.54 to 1 on Friday. Yes, it can be done. It most certainly can be done. And if anybody can do it, you can do it. Costco. Let's take a look. Again, yeah, that's the weekly. Bullish on the weekly. Actually, it is. Let's take a look here. Well, kind of. It is a Morningstar, but it's not a Morningstar reversal. Morningstar reversal's got to come from a downtrend. So it actually is a little bit risky up here because of that. But in general, See how it holds. I mean, it's holding these levels really well. Eventually, it's going to work and try to break out of those levels. But it does look like a bigger cup and handle too. Experience and thoughts. Good session. Woo! Got some good ones. Microsoft. I'm sorry, Microsoft. Morgan Stanley. Pardon me. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, it has just been pretty phenomenal here, guys. Our entry day would have been pretty much here. That would have been our entry day, right? Here's your trend line. First bullish close, increase volume above a pivot, and then boom, a little bit of pull back to the trend line. Fresh high, fresh trend line, and then back up. So it's chopping. Maybe it'll chop sideways until it gets to that level, right? So just watch how it handles that trend line once it gets there. Okay, GS. I mean, almost identical. Almost identical to Morgan Stanley, just not as good as an entry. But, we could have got in possibly on this candle right here. A little upper side. We thought about it with the breakout of the cloud. But it would have been tough. Well, I mean, we could have capitalized on a nice gap up the next day, pull back to the trend line and the cloud, and then up. CRM. Why do you ask? Why do you ask about CRM? It's difficult, very complicated to trade. I mean, this was a bar. I mean, this is a candle we could have done, honestly. Nice bullish breakout of the cloud, and I think you mentioned it, and I was like, oh, it's so hard to trade. But, over these levels right here, and then it did work its way back up. And then it chopped around like it likes to do in the chop zone here, so it's back in the congestion zone. But yeah, it's starting to get, pretty bullish. So good. Okta. The only reason I know it's Okta is because one of our members interviewed with him. I was like, nope, it's Okta. I was like, I thought it was Okta. Potato. Anyway, bullish close right here. Nice move up to the cloud. Worked its way back down here. Trying to get into the cloud. That's kind of the key right here. It's generally looking pretty bullish, right? I'd like to see another, like a level. Basically, if you use this trend line right here, let's close bullishly above 112. Let's get over 113, right, with some increased volume, and then we'll trade it potentially for a cloud break. W day. Not quite bullish engulfing, but big resistance above with the cloud. Good stuff. Nick, what's happening? Good to see you. Again, snap. Let's see. Good to see your requests. Okay, so snap is interesting, right? Here's your macro trend line. Okay. Minor pivot right here. So it's got some work to do, right? It's got some work to do. It's got like a little bit of a, if it closes above Friday's highs bullishly, right, we could consider a potential trade, at least to the cloud, but we could find resistance here, right? Then we want it to close bullishly above that, which might eventually be in the cloud, and then we'll see a breakout of that. So look for a bullish close this week above here, so above $14.50. So I'm cool with that. Experience and thoughts. Baba, 22 billions worth of sales in 9 hours of single sales day sales. Cool. I guess that's bullish, right? PayPal. You made $92 billion. Like, goodness gracious. PayPal, amazingly, right? We looked at this as a potential short idea in our group here that day, just because of the way it was rejecting the cloud, again, and then that got some nice follow through, and now it's kind of working its way here. So a bullish close over Friday's high could be good, but again, the risk reward might not be there with this cloud. So unfortunately, blah. We need some major news to like push it. Good. CMG. GMG. Ooh. Getting right to that fib fan line. Bullish close over Friday's high could be good. I mean, look at that. I mean, if that's not a falling wedge, right? Put to call ratio at 0.96. Maybe time for calls. No, I think you're good. I think you're right. It is getting closer. I mean, CMG guys, we've been looking at this one for months, right? It loves this fib fan line that we drew. It loves it. Fib fan line is from all the way from, it was from that low to that high, and it has just been holding this fib fan line forever, right? And look where it is. Falling wedge right to the next fib fan line level. So we'll see if it can close bullishly above Friday's high. We could see it move up to the cloud, and it's a thin cloud, and we could see a break. So that could be interesting. Definitely one to keep on the radar. Good. Seneca, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Mo. It's trying. It is trying. Give it a little bit of time, right? You might just want to chop around here for a little bit. I like this kind of crazy cup and handle it's got going on. You see, we've got an alert right here. I want it to close above these levels. I want it to close above like these highs here. So that was 47.15, 47.16. So anything above, basically 47.20 bullishly increasing volume, we could see a move. Now, where's the resistance? I'm seeing these big purple lines right here, right? Where's your macro? There's your macro trend line right there, right? Boom. From here and here, both kind of have conflicts, right? So there's a lot of resistance in this area. So even if it does break, right, is the risk reward good, right? Could get up to maybe 48, and then we'll look for short setups, right? It has been beat up pretty hard, so we could see that. So, and Walmart, yeah, let's take a look. So Walmart, guys, we looked to swing this long the other day. Right, had some interesting activity on it. Yeah, so nice move up there. Hit all-time highs and kind of reversed off it. So, at this point, it might come back and test the cloud. Fresh high stretch trend line. Right, so that was a fresh little bump line right there. Okay, and then see how it holds that. Okay, good. Very, very good. Dylan, U.S. oil. Let's take a look. Interesting. Nice green close on Friday. Here's that trend line right here. Minor pivots right here. Okay, closes above it here. A little bit move up to the cloud. Not good risk reward. Back down. Okay, and then it has just been struggling to get a bullish close over these levels. So it has to close really over here. 1208, over that level bullishly, increase volume, nice candle, right, to try to work its way back up, maybe get up to that 1260, 1250 level. Good. Rada, what's going on? Guild, yeah. Nice move there. I mean, we got this pivot right here. This is gonna be tough. There's lots of resistance above. Okay, so just be careful with that. Lots of resistance above. Tricky in this area. And then and then Dow. Whew. I mean, this thing has been it's been good. It's been good in the neighborhood. So I mean, bullish until proven otherwise, right? Okay, a couple little dings in the arm right here. A close below Thursday's low could bring it back to the trend line, but that's a tricky one with options. But if you like your shares on it, it could be good. Yeah, my pleasure. Superstar Google gave me a rough day on Friday. Thanks for reviewing much for yeah. It's just I stopped trading Google. It's like, hey, all right, it moved. I'm up. I should be up like a point or two. Oh, I'm up. I'm down to like 20 cents. How's that? It's just like, okay, I'm done. Experience and thoughts. Why is Asian markets down? Might be a red opening for us. Yeah, we got futures are down right now. I mean, ES is down. I mean, I'm sure it's like I don't know, pinning the yuan to the wrong number or something like that. But double inside day so far on the ES. So we'll see. I mean, we're extended, but as long as we hold the trend line, bullish until proven otherwise. And don't worry, but I mean, who knows? We might be green in the morning. Luca, what's going on? LVO7. Let's take a look. Yeah, FSLR. I love this. Recently had some some heavy FSLR. Recently had some call activity. You can see I have notes on that here, and gave us an inside day. Couldn't really do anything with it there, so it's pulling back. So at this point, we'll just watch for a bullish setup, right? So at this point, it either needs to close above that high there, right, or let me just push that up here. So it has to close above here. So just figure $55, or it'll put in a new low, and then we'll be able to shift our trend line, basically, and then look for a setup there. So it's definitely on the radar. I do like unusual call activity. Good. And yeah, my pleasure. Nick, you got the puts. That's cool too. I mean, it looks bearish too. So I was just trying to put together a bullish case for you. But yeah, I mean, it's still looking weak. I mean, if you just go back one more time to it, I mean, it's still holding the downward trend line, right? So, and in fact, if you look at this trend line right here, right, it closed bullishly here. It was a good day, to short. And if you're still in it, right, it's still holding trend. I was just looking for a bullish case. Like if it closed above here, then it could work its way up. But right now, it's bearish until proven otherwise. So JK, how about? Oh, we got some good ones. Baidu. Yeah, good old Baidu. That was a good one on day after earnings day or earnings morning. So it was a nice one there. Nice little pause right here, but upper shadow. Just keep in mind there. What we got? Some gap action up here, right? These different levels. These were prior gap and go levels we looked at. So yeah. So look, it might give you a little spinning top sandwich. It's got some gaps below. Just we'll see how it is in the morning. And Square. Inside day, inside the cloud. That's the worst place to be. So, had a really bullish, or a decent push on earnings day, and they gave you that upper shadow. So it's just kind of blah. And then AMAT, good place to sell premium. AMAT, tricky. Possible pennant off of that big one right there. So look for a break, right? Could be one A B C expanded flat, two, 1 2 3 4. It could be a four triangle, right? So, which is the pennant right there, and then work its way back up to the pitchfork level up there. So that could be good. And if there's a little time left, Teva, yeah, let's take a look. Teva. Good, nice bullish close here. Right, not increased volume, but it's okay because it's right after earnings, so it's still a lot of volume that came in. Yeah, that's a bullish close. A little bit of resistance here off the fib fan line, but it could slowly work its way back up. It's starting to make some moves, looking interesting. Good. Yeah, I like that. So see if that gets any more move for you. Good stuff. Yeah, no problem, JK. My pleasure. And Doc Admin, what's going on? Okta. We looked at this a little bit earlier, but happy to show it again. So here, basically, look at that failed bull flag breakout. So it broke down instead, and then look at that double inside day, flushed down a little bit off of the double inside day. Trying to hang on to this cloud. It has to now close above 113. 113 bullishly with increasing volume, and then we might be able to see a cloud break on that one. So getting there. Good. All right, guys. Well, if you can believe it, it's 10:30. Really appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're new here, definitely subscribe on YouTube and check out the links in the description. Check us out on Twitter and all that good, happy, fun stuff. And yeah, so good stuff. It was fun today talking about the 10 o'clock jiggle. So the 10 OJ. So hope you guys like that one. It's a cool strategy. Look around 10 o'clock to see if it's hanging around in the highs, especially if it's at a key level and showing some overextended indications. And then you might be able to catch a reversal on it. So we got another fun one to talk about tomorrow, and it should be a fun week. So looking forward to it, guys. Happy Veterans Day. Watch for a potential choppy day tomorrow or a flush tomorrow because the Fed's not there to defend things, right? So we'll see. We'll see what kind of action they give us tomorrow, but we'll be ready for it either way. All right, guys. Hope everybody have a great rest of your evening, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.